It is therefore suitable for general family viewing.
Hello viewer, welcome to Chungu Jamii. My name is Betty. I am your host today and I am so glad to be hosting a couple you all want to meet today. And I'm going to give them a chance to introduce themselves, but before then, you must be really interested in what are we going to be discussing today with a couple. So today is a beautiful day and you're going to be talking about rebuilding broken trust in marriage. I'd like them to introduce themselves. I will start with the lady.
Good morning. I am Petronila Kisui, born again. Christ is my personal savior, and I am a business lady. I'm glad to be here. Asante.
Okay, karibu.
How are you viewers? My name is Martin Maina Mukoma. They also call me Emissary, but is the artistry name. I'm born again. I'm a realtor. I own a company, Domina Homes and Property Limited. So anything property, I can sort you out.
Wow.
Thank you.
Okay. That's nice. Welcome, Mr. and Mrs. Maina or Mukoma.
Maina.
Good to have you. We're talking about rebuilding broken trust in marriage. This whole month, we're going to be talking about marriages. And as you know, marriages in our country, in our society, is such an institution where there's lots of things happening. When people get married and they say, I do, people want to live there forever, happily ever after. But no sooner had they gotten into marriage than they start fighting, and people want to get out of it, and people want to divorce, and people want to separate, So many things actually happen that make people not comfortable in this marriage. And I would like to hear what your story is, and I'll start with Petronila. What exactly do you do, and tell us a little bit about yourself.
What I do in terms of business?
Yeah.
I am an interior designer, a mother, and a wife.
Okay.
Yes.
Yes, something about yourself.
In terms of something about myself.
Of course, yes, you are a mother. Yes. Growing up, where were you brought up?
Okay. I am the firstborn in a family of 3. I was brought up by a single mother.
Okay.
It's me and my brother and then my mom. And being in a struggling country, my mom had to take us to the village to live with our grandparents. And I was raised in a family of uncles, cousins. My grandfather was the father figure and my uncles as well. Yeah, so I was brought up by an absentee mother. Okay. Although my grandmother was there, but she could treat me as the grandmother that she was. So having been brought up in such an environment, I was molested at a young age. And I think that's because, and I was also threatened not to talk about it. It's my cousin who had raped me. So I was threatened not to talk about it, and because now the dad to my uncle now, the dad to my cousin was the richest, and in this society, if you are rich, you have the say in a family. So I was afraid and I kept it to myself because I did not want us, me, my mom and my brother to be kicked out of the family.
How old were you?
I was around 12 years.
12?
Yes.
Oh.
12, 13 years old.
Sorry.
So, yeah. So I got pregnant then at that young age. And I was forced to abort. Of course, they wouldn't want me to bring a baby, my cousin's baby in their family.
Incest.
Yes. And again, my mom is also a single mother. So people were also thinking now, I bring my baby again home, being an incest, the baby. So I think they had their own way of justifying the case.
Of course.
Yeah, but me, I was confused. I was just a small girl. I didn't know what was happening, even with my baby. With my body. Yeah, so I did not even talk to my mom because she was not even present. Yeah. And I was also afraid of talking about it as well.
I know.
Yes. Because I do not even know. I had just gotten my first period. So I did not know what, yes, we were taught in school, but I did not understand. It's
And
supposed
plus
to
it
come
was a
every
rape.
month. Yeah.
Yes.
And again, you're traumatized. You do not know what to do. Yes.
What?
And I think then that is when I did not know what I was saying, but I could say I will never bring my kids up as a single mom. I did not want that because I felt the void of my mother. If she was close enough, I'd have told her despite what that threats and everything. And maybe things should have taught me something different and how to look at life. Yes, as a girl.
So were you able to make such a decision so early in life that you do not want to be also a single mom like your mother?
Okay, my mom passed away when I turned 18 years old.
Okay.
And then I had to come now to Nairobi to look for a living. I worked as a house help, and after some time now, I got another job. And now my brother had finished class 8. He was to go to high school.
Yeah.
Then he came to Nairobi. I literally became a mom at 18 because I had to live with him. Him going to school, coming back, me providing for everything. Yeah, so I decided after this, what I went through, I do not want to be a single mom. And I was just saying it. I did not know. God was hearing me, and he could see the depth of my heart, because if actually someone stood as a parent, because grandma would come, check, how are you? She makes sure you eat, go to school, but she did not go into details to check what is really happening. You know that mother-daughter talk.
I know.
Yeah, you share, tell her what you're going through, what is happening, what has happened. No, there was no one, literally.
I'm surprised that at 12 years you're already able to make that decision that you don't want to be a single mom.
Yeah.
And I also feel so sorry that at 12 years, just had your first periods, you're already raped, you're pregnant, you don't know what to do, and it's from a relative, and you're not supposed to speak it out.
Yes.
And you have to go through an abortion.
Yes.
That must have been such a trauma. Then fast forward, you come to Nairobi.
Yeah.
You're with your brother. You have to make a living, and so you get into becoming a house help.
Yes.
And the heart to not be a single mom is so strong in you.
Yes, yes.
That means, so you don't have a baby.
No.
Your brother is the one you're taking care
Yes.
of. And the urge to not be a single mom is so strong in you.
Yes.
That means you want to get married someday.
Yeah.
All right. Martin,
Yeah.
I have enjoyed listening to your wife up to that bit. What is your story?
All right. For me, I come from a family of 6. I'm the firstborn.
Wow.
Raised by very staunch believers. That is Anglican. So my mom, she's an Anglican. Right now, she is a chair lady in a certain church at Njiru. And my father also is also a believer.
Okay.
Yeah, so being raised in a family, I was brought up well
Wow.
with Christian values. Yeah, but I had a change at a young age because I was born in Pumwani. Then as a toddler, I was in Nairobi. Then because of the culture, then people used to marry after my dad married my mom. And then they sired a baby, that's me. So we were taken to up country to live there with our shosh and then mom. So we were living there just like any other normal family.
Okay.
So went to school there. Then later in life is when we relocated, when I was now transitioning to high school. Yeah, up country, the way I was raised, there were the presence of auntie and uncles, but uncles were, they were now older. They were university students, and auntie, also them they were. So, and then my mother's side also the auntie was living with us as a house help. Now, living with auntie, I was also introduced. I was sexualized by family members. So, so I was introduced to sex early. So the only way I understood love is if someone expressed love through sex. That is how I understood love. So I thought, seeing family do that, I felt that's love. Right?
Yes.
Because my dad was very tough and my mom, they were very tough on us. So you wouldn't want to make a mistake. So then primary school, when you're young, it's never here or there when it comes to relationship. Then later transition to high school. When I was admitted to Karatina, which was a mixed school, secondary school.
Right.
There now the habit of now having relationship a girl, it's like you are a superhero.
So how are you sexualized at an early age? You know, for her, she went through rape,
For me,
which was not by choice.
I think for us boys, when someone molests you, it's not really molesting. It communicates to you that person kind of like love you.
So it was done to you also by a relative?
Yeah,
And
twice.
Twice?
No, not
was
twice.
It with
it was thrice. Thrice. One is from my mother's side, my auntie. From my father's side, my auntie. And then there was a guy who tried to
sodomize you.
Yeah, to sodomize.
Was it like out of consent? Were you in agreement that, I mean, let's do this?
Now you're young, you see that.
How old were you then?
I was very young, around, I was in standard 4.
Oh my
5,
God. You know, I'm already thinking as a parent, you know, the way you entrust your children with your relatives as a parent, saying, let them go and be with my mom, let them go and be with my aunties and with my sisters and brothers, and then they become the ones who do this to your children.
Yeah, so there is the importance of parents being present and getting to know what is actually going on.
Okay, so you grew up and went to high school, and so you know the only way to express love is sexually.
Yeah. So I grew up knowing that. So and then when you get circumcised as a Kikuyu, you are now introduced to a clique of men. Unfortunately for me, those guys would tell you that for you to become a man enough, number one, you have to drink. Number two, you have to have a sex with a lady.
Oh my God.
So for me, psychologically, that was my reality. And that is something I embraced early as a young person. So fast forward school, high school. High school, then I was like, for me, I was this Kalava boy. Because high school, I realized my talent. I had a crazy love for music. So I used to love 50 Cent. Even my chair, the back of my chair was written. I would, during those entertainment sessions, I would rap his songs and all that.
Wow.
Nazizi and Waire were like my idols.
Interesting.
Yeah, so yeah, it was for me. I realized my gift very early. Then I started writing. I would write my own lyrics and then wait for weekend to perform them.
All right.
So and then would relate there. So
The ladies.
Ladies. So I think when I was in Form 4, in every class I had a girlfriend.
When you were in Form
They
4.
were even fighting.
Oh my God, for you. You mentioned you were the lover boy, so all chicks were there. Was she part of them?
No.
The irony of life.
Yes,
So you
she
didn't
wasn't
manage
part
to
of-
settle with any of them?
Not really. So that is now how I was raised. And then Form 4, I think at Form 3 is when I got born again.
Okay.
But still, you don't understand what really salvation is.
At Form 3, you got
So
born again.
clearing Form 4 is when we were in Dandora then, and because of love of music, I think church was the only place then you could actually go and get an opportunity to sing and showcase your talent. So PEFA was the place for me. So there we came to, my father bought a plot and built. When it was just like a shell, we decided to move. And then that is when we evicted from Dandora now to Kayole. So Kayole, I joined PEFA. There Christianity became serious.
Okay.
Where
That is after high school.
After high school.
So how did you meet? When did you meet? In the church?
No, not really.
Because she's doing house help.
For me, I was actually doing music because we also had a quarrel with my dad because I was a bright kid, but my desire for music was more
Stronger.
So I found myself in a clique where we came up with a group of gospel group singing gospel then. Then mi nikapotea nyumbani. And then later it's when after we did not agree very well, I went back to Kayole. Going back to Kayole, I was grown around 24 years old. And then I'm back at home. And then my sisters are there. And then there is a friend of mine, we had moved together. Then my dad decided to tell us, you are grown up, please get out of my house. So my brother was working. And then I dragged my brother. I told him, you are working, I'm not working. My music is not doing well. So let's find a house and get out of our father's house. So I got one, Kayole. And then where we were living, right opposite, that is where she was living.
Okay. So, how do you now get married?
We were immediate neighbors, as he said. So I used to see him on TV, but I had never seen him one-on-one.
Yes.
So that day we met at the shop. He sold his merchandise to me. And because I want to play that hard to get lady, I told him I do not have money. He gave me, and I told him I am traveling. So if you want, you can give me, and I'll pay when I'm back, or keep them. I'll come and get them when I'm back. So he gave them to me. So that's when he got my number now, because I was supposed to send him the money.
Yeah.
We get into chatting, and then, yeah, here we are.
Okay. So you fell in love, and I want to believe grew into it.
Yes, yes.
Okay, so a lot of times now that you're talking about restoring or rebuilding broken trusts in marriage, when you said I do, did life go on as you always wanted? Did you, when you got married, decide, me who was the lover boy, today I drop all the girls and only stick to Petronilla?
Yeah, I was in church, but lukewarm, but very active member in the church. Still struggling. So I thought, if I get married, this thing will, it will be a way of dealing with my issues with infidelity or fornication or other stuff. So she was a nice lady. I'm the one who led her to Christ, you see. Because she used to come where we were living. I used to hold a fellowship as gospel artists, even redemption.
Yeah.
They would have actually come. Sometimes even guardian angel would have come to in our space, and we would have that fellowship. So then that is how she got the desire to get born again. And
So you
changed.
actually led her to Christ.
Yeah, I led her to Christ.
By that time, you see, you
So,
were struggling.
Yeah. So for me, I had other ladies, so many of them, but she was unique. She was persistent and very ready, and I out of all of them, I saw her special, to be sincere, and then I singled her out, even with the help of the pastors, because sometimes I would come with a lady in the church and they're like, well, that one, be very careful. So one of the greatest thing, and I would like to encourage young people, it's good to work with people who have the best interest at heart and people who can see better than you. Because sometimes as men, you really do not know, you are confused as a young person. There are so many beautiful ladies around, and right now, men are superficial. It's what you see. So you don't get to interrogate. You don't even understand yourself. You don't. If you cannot understand yourself, how can you make the right decision? So
I'm
it's good to
wondering
surround yourself with the right people. So for me, even though I was confused, I had the right people around me who were my accountability partner.
That's what helped you.
So they told me, that lady who is hanging around you, consider you are lucky. And one of them called me crying and told me, Martin, if this lady, you lose this lady, then we had started dating, you will have lost one of the best lady one could ever have.
Petronilla, you were such a precious wife.
Yeah.
But Martin, when you were singling out Petronilla and you had this many other ladies, were you not making a decision after knowing that she's the right one, with all that conviction? Why was it not possible for you to just decide and say, bye-bye, I have made a better choice?
You know, let me tell you one thing, and I know so many people will resonate with this, and it is the truth. It's not a lie. Behavior change is very hard. Habits developed over time, which have become a lifestyle. It's very hard. It takes a process. It even takes God. It takes a divine hand of God to actually touch your heart. And also it's a process. So for me, I thought, mentally and all that, I am saying to myself, I will settle now.
You were saying to yourself.
Then it dawned on me, it was never that easy. Not because I did not love her, but the habit itself was a giant I had to deal with. So I also to recommend even church spaces and even parents. It's good to raise your kid with values, because those habits took a toll on me. Even though I wanted to do the right thing, I found myself that the rhythm or the patterns are still way bigger than my desire to do the right thing. So I found myself cheating because I was also into porn. I used to consume a lot of pornography. So you see, whatever you're consuming, you know, garbage in, garbage out.
Yeah.
And that was my, like, a space, a safe space, a comfort space. So it was my secret. No one knew.
You're doing that on your phone?
On my phone, laptop, and all that.
In her absence?
And that one was actually introduced way earlier when we started, way earlier, where when during circumcision, I got healed. And then where I went, I was living with these cousins of ours. They introduced me to porn. So we could watch porn the whole night.
Didn't you feel satisfied, even as a man or a husband, after meeting the woman you love, and you still have many more on the side? What kind of satisfaction were you looking for that you could not find in the real woman, and you still went? Did you continue with porn after meeting Petronella and marrying her?
You see now, so the need, you see, as a man, when you're growing, there is a place where you reach, you feel, I am now ready to get a woman and start a family. And you think that if you get a woman, you'll sort your sexual
need and desire.
Needs and desire, right? Then there is this habit you've developed over time. So you're married, and then there is love for the love. There is selfish, you're selfish. And then there is this other person you have who you love also. But the love which is greater is this one. You have the love for porn, love for, the thing you are used to. It is bigger. And that is the truth. And so many people don't understand that. That is the truth. Not unless you understand. You understand that this one is greater and it is to your detriment. You need to start a process of healing.
Did you ever feel that was an addiction?
Yeah, it was an addiction. That is actually there. It was an addiction.
It was an addiction.
Yeah.
Breaking out from addictions is really, really hard.
Yeah.
Because I've heard of people who are addicted to drugs and drinking, and what they say is, this is the last time I'm going to do this. They always say that. In fact, you even take them to rehab, and they're like, when I leave, I'm not coming back. Did you get to that place where you were so remorseful and feeling condemned, and you got to that place and said, this is the last time I'm going to cheat on petrol. This is the last time I'm going to watch porn. Did you ever have such kinds of moments?
I've had those moments.
You did?
You stay for 6 months, 3 months. I would even fast. Gospel, you see, even being confused and being in such a space is, it's very, the content which you consume is very important. Church helped me. You see, I was in that space. So the truth, I would really get a lot of truth, and people would tell me. And then the conviction, there is that conviction. There is that inner man, that tells you this is outrightly wrong. You're not supposed to do this.
Yeah.
And you would feel that condemnation and guilt. And then there is your own way. You want to actually rise up and do it. But it only takes the grace of God after the resolving in your heart that, Lord, I don't want to do this. Please help me. And then also coming out clean, because I would do that on myself, but I would find myself in the same space again. Because let me say, even the Bible says, because I'm a believer, whoever hides sin will never prosper. And if you keep sin in your heart, it becomes your master.
I truly congratulate you
Yeah.
for coming out to speak about this.
Yeah.
And I would want to hear from your wife. How did you discover? You know, I have talked to people who tell me, Betty, I am able to bear anything but not a cheating husband. And others say, let him go and do whatever he wants. As long as my car is fueled, my fridge is filled up, my children are taken to the school of my choice. How did you get to know about all this, and what was your reaction?
At first, I could bump it into his phone, see conversations, get mad when I ask him, he's defensive. And I did not want to really to stay or go in my marriage. And I thank God I was surrounded by strong women and men of God who had the best interest at heart for our marriage. And our mom, my mom-in-law, was one of those women. Then I said, I am not going to talk about this. No, at some point, he came and confessed to me. I have done this and I am sorry. So I felt, this is a unique person. Yes, it hurt me so bad. I was bitter, frustrated, and disappointed in him being the person that led me to Christ. And you know, I grew up in a family whereby people were not saved. Not everybody was saved. They only believed in God, went to church, but they were not saved. So I had that warped view that if you are saved, you have to be perfect. And with him now, having seen his lifestyle, admired, and decided now, I think I need to test this Christ through him. And he led me to Christ. I expected him to be better, a perfect man.
Of course.
So I found out, and I remember the first time I was so mad that I said things through tantrums, said every sort of insult. Like I have anger issues.
I cannot imagine.
Temper. So I called the mom. I told his mom, me mom, I'm going. She told me, you are not going anywhere. Just come over. Come home, we talk about it. So mom is that kind of a person you will discuss. She will cry with you if you're crying and pray. And she used to tell me, you cannot go. Then now the thing that made me stay more is when I understood this thing is more spiritual. I'm not supposed to deal with it physically, but on my knees. Because if someone is coming to you and telling you that I want to stop this, and I could overhear him pray when he was praying alone.
Wow.
Telling God, take me out of this. I really, and he would mention, I do not want to cheat on my wife. I could overhear him pray. So then I thought to myself, remember the words that you used to say before you got married. And now I have a daughter, then. I do not want to bring up my daughter as a single mom. I do not want to introduce this daughter of mine to a different man. Because if my cousin could rape me, and we are related, what about this new man I will take my daughter to? I had trust issues with men. So I talked also to our best couple, who would come to our home, even spend the whole night praying. And again, we also went to a counselor, a family therapist. I was willing, I really wanted this marriage to work. And I was there to stay, not to try. So in the praying time, I would feel, I also do things that irritates him. It's only that mine maybe are different. I do not cheat, and I know there are things that I do. Men, you know, men are different. They don't voice out some things.
Yes.
They'll just look at it and just assume or maybe talk with other men, but not the wives. So I started looking at it like I also do things that does not make him happy. What if we took the measures that I feel I need to take on him? What would I feel? Yeah, so I took it as my own burden.
That
to
was
pray.
such a deep contemplation,
Yes.
recommendable.
Yeah, to pray for him and work on myself. Yes.
Wow. So when you discovered, of course, with all the madness, but there was a driving force that you do not want to be a single mom.
Yes.
I've seen many people who say that generations, repeat themselves.
Yes.
Like if your grandma was a single mom, your mom became a single mom, and you will become, and maybe your daughter will become.
Yeah.
I wonder where you got, that kind of wisdom to stay, and just hang on and say, this is not gonna happen to me. That was so lovely. I want us to take a short break, and when we come back, we will continue with this conversation. Viewer, I am here with Martin and Petronilla. This is such a lovely couple. I know many things do happen in the marriage, but people hardly talk about them. I wish you join me to congratulate this couple for coming out and speaking out clean of the issues that they have been able to battle with and overcome. Stay with us, coming back just now.
And walk out of us, That is my biggest fear.
That's your biggest
Yes.
fear. Okay. Martin, I know that you love Petronilla. When I think of being a lover boy in high school and being a music artist, women love those fantasies and they like to be around such people. And you didn't stop singing. So people still look at you as the lover boy, the handsome guy, and they want to flock around you. And being human, as she says, it may not be easy to just break free and say, I'm going to put such a wall around me and with Petronilla alone, and no one is going to penetrate this wall. What is your biggest and greatest commitment and purpose or promise to Petronilla?
Number one, I keep on assuring her that I love her, and also speaking hope by the things I do. I decided to put accountability partners around me, people who can question, people who can call me out. Number two, I've decided to put boundaries. We share this phone password. She has access to my phone, and also put her as an accountability partner. Many at the time she has told me, block this lady, because lady, they have a way of telling this, the way this lady is coming, you really need to.
She's up to something.
So she's the closest. She's into my space.
Wow.
And she's helping me grow.
Excellent.
And come out of that.
Excellent. We have 1 minute to end this show, and I would like you to give now your parting shot to the viewers, especially the couples that have been watching you today.
Speaking as a woman and the wife, having my experience, if you're out there going through this, please get to understand your partner, get to understand your husband. Is this thing spiritual? Is this thing, does he want to get out of it? What I'd say is work on yourself and pray for your partner.
Wow.
Yes.
Nice. Martin?
For me, I know marriages have different dimensions. People are in different spaces. I'm not encouraging people to be in a toxic marriage where you're beaten, you see, where someone has perennial issues of cheating and cheating. There are dangers when someone can bring even diseases from outside. That is one of my realization, that if I continue with this behavior, it's also hurting me. In the long run, in future, it will it will hurt me. When I look back, I will not be proud of me. So I decided to make the decision to be one of the best husband, one of the best father, and to model a character and a behavior that I would like to see it in my son and my daughter.
Wow.
Yeah.
Congratulations once again for coming out to talk about this. You have really helped many people. You may not know it, but that is the truth. I thank you so much for coming, and we had the pleasure of hosting you guys.
Thank you for having us.
Wow. Thank you to viewer. This has really been awesome. I know you have enjoyed listening to the story of Martin and Petronilla. My name is Betty. Do check out this again on Facebook and YouTube. GBS TV Africa is our YouTube channel. See you next time. God bless you.